I remember the sound first. It wasn't just noise, it was a roar, a peal that shattered the air, my skin, my very being. I stood in the classroom, the walls around me vibrating, the chalkboard rattling against the fury erupting outside. Voices, laughter, chatter, transformed instantly into screams and cries that begged for salvation. Students, vibrant and full of life, their faces painted with youthful curiosity, turned wide-eyed toward the window. What did we see? A flash, a blinding light that swallowed the world momentarily. The heat enveloped us like a furious embrace, scorching and searing as the air grew thick with panic. I can still feel the pulse of chaos around me. A runner in a white shirt falls. A girl clutches at her throat, gasping. The smell of burning, a pungent, acrid disaster that clawed at my insides, made me choke on fear. It was a shattering moment that divided time, one heartbeat before and none after. And then the impact. A wave hit us, fierce and suffocating. It was not a wave of water, but of pressure, crashing against us, slamming into my chest. I stumbled, flailed, my mind a whirlpool of confusion. I saw the windows explode, glass shattering like 1,000 stars plummeting to earth. I heard metal twisting, shrieking in agony as the world turned upside down. Was my heart pounding, or was that the earth beneath my feet, trembling, crumbling? It felt like both, as I drew breath after breath of the heat hanging like a fog. Time lost its meaning in those seconds stretching eternal. Shadows danced wildly, flickering figures colliding and falling. I reached out for my students, their fright reflected in their wide eyes, but there was nothing to grasp, just chaos. And silence. All at once, the terror stilled, leaving a hollow void, an echo of despair that felt like it could swallow me whole. The weight of everything I couldn't say hung in the air, like stray ash falling softly, coating our fear in a somber shroud. Not one sob could be heard, not one word spoken. Only the sound of nothingness, like a whisper of shadows trapped in time. In that instant, I realized this was the end, not just for me, but for the dreams we had shared, for the laughter that once filled this room. The bright hopes of today extinguished, lost to the darkness that dawned upon us. I stood frozen, a teacher, a guide, caught between the fierce pulse of life and the inevitable embrace of death, staring into the abyss where tomorrow would never come. And then came the darkness, the sepulchral stillness where sound ceased, where light withered. I was falling, not in despair, but in surrender, slipping into an embrace I could not fight. I thought of home, of the warmth, the echo of laughter, and the dreams that flickered like the last embers of a fire. And then, nothing. Silence folded around me, an unyielding blanket. This was the moment, heavy, thick, and unreal, where everything slipped away like grains of sand through fingers, leaving only the sigh of a world I no longer belonged to. In the depths of that all-consuming silence, my essence unfurled across time. I hovered in the ether, distinct yet intertwining with something much larger than myself. In this suspension of reality, I realized I was no longer bound to the flesh. My identity floated freely, a whisper across the years. I am a teacher, a guide, a soul lost yet yearning for connection. My name was Hiroko, a simple name that resonated with love, laughter, and purpose. I had once lived to impart knowledge to eager minds, to inspire young hearts filled with dreams like bright petals in bloom. I remember the warmth of the classroom, the sunlight filtering through the windows, creating patterns of light that danced across the faces of my students. They were my world, and I cherished each moment spent among them. I think of the way Ayumi used to laugh, her gentle spirit illuminating even the dullest days. She was one of those rare souls, always curious, forever asking questions, eager to explore the far reaches of her imagination. I remember how she wore a simple brightness like a cloak. It wrapped around her, spilling into our lessons, invigorating the exchange of wisdom. But there was one moment etched into my memory with exquisite clarity. Ayumi handed me a ring she had crafted from clay during art class. It was a modest piece, painted in soft hues of blue and green, and she told me it represented her promise to pursue her dreams. I cherished it, as if holding her hopes in my palm. She expressed her desire to become an artist, to capture the beauty of this world and share it with others. I could hear her laughter threading through my thoughts. The memory was a lifeline, an anchor in this ethereal void. Now I drift in silent sorrow, knowing I can no longer guide them, no longer support their aspirations. The weight of this realization pulls at what remains of my spirit. They were not just students. They were fragments of my heart, pieces that wove into the fabric of my existence. A profound loss settles over me, heavy and persistent. The beauty of who they were, who they could have become, collides with the harsh truth of what was lost. I wonder if they felt my love. My heart aches for the connection we had forged in the fleeting moments of laughter and learning. There was laughter and joy. There were moments when we discussed books, shared dreams, and built castles of hope within our hearts. I remember their wide-eyed attentiveness. It was my purpose to ignite that flame, to teach them, not just about history or science, but about compassion, about passion, about being truly alive. Were they conscious of how every word echoed with love, how the classroom breathed with possibility? Did they know that in their laughter, I too found my strength? And now, hovering in this otherworldly realm, I am left with echoes, phantoms of memories that bring both warmth and heartache. The bittersweet essence of knowledge I can no longer impart weighs on my essence. There's a longing to return and embrace them, to share wisdom and laughter one last time. Yet I remain invisible, an unheard voice offering solace to nothing but the shadows of what once was. Am I to remain forever in this limbo, forever watching as their lives unfold without me? The thought thrums through this vast emptiness, a relentless ache. I wish I could tell them that the spirit is persistent, that dreams can traverse time, that love never truly vanishes. It resonates in pulses, waves of connection that forever bond us, even through different realms. And then a surge of clarity washes over me. I understand that the love we shared, the laughter, the lessons, has not faded. It lingers in every heart I touched. I may no longer walk among them, but I have become part of the very fabric of their beings. I am the warm breeze on their faces, the whisper of encouragement in their ears. As I drift, I linger upon the words of hope I left unspoken, still echoing through the realms of memory. Did they feel me? Did they know I believed in them? And in this moment of reflection, I close my eyes, if I had them still, and envision a bridge made of dreams stretching across the void. A bridge where my essence melds with theirs, where I can still guide them silently with love, propelling them toward their destinies. The echo of who I was intertwines into the rich tapestry of life that continues without me. In a moment of stillness, I find solace. Though my physical form may have dissipated into the ether, my purpose, my love remains. And with that profound realization, I float, cradled in a bittersweet serenity, eager for what comes next, knowing that my spirit will always linger on the shore of their dreams. The day before the world ceased to be, life unfolded with a rhythm that felt all too normal, too mundane to harbor any hint of the impending disaster. I arrived at school early, the soft light of dawn filtering through the trees lining the path, casting flickering shadows on the ground, like playful spirits dancing beneath the branches. It was a typical morning, the air crisp and filled with promise. Little did I know, destiny was already weaving its web. As I walked through the familiar halls, my heart swelled with anticipation. Today was special. I had crafted a lesson plan bursting with excitement, one I hoped would inspire my students to delve deeper into their imaginations. My mind danced with the thoughts of their reactions, the chuckles, gasps, and bright eyes alight with understanding. This was what I lived for, their engagement, their growth. Each moment shared seemed epically significant as I entered the classroom. "Good morning, everyone," I called out, smiling brightly as they filed in, each one carrying fragments of their dreams and uncertainties. They filled the room like a burst of sunlight, each beam of light warm and inviting. I noticed Ayumi seated in her favorite spot by the window, already sketching ideas for her artistic pursuits. I could see it in the intensity of her focus that she was lost in a world of creation, one where possibilities stretched infinitely before her. We huddled around the desks as I initiated our art project, eager for interaction. Today, we're going to explore how our imaginations can shape our realities, I announced, my voice ringing with enthusiasm. The room filled with the sounds of busy fingers, pencils scraping paper as stories began to weave themselves into existence. A buzz of creativity settled over us, igniting laughter, playful debates, and shared dreams. And yet, in the midst of this vibrant tapestry of life, there was an odd hum in the air, like a discordant note in an otherwise harmonious symphony. News reports buzzed occasionally in the background about unrest in distant lands, but I dismissed them. Nothing so far away could disrupt the harmony of our sanctuary. I pushed aside the nagging feeling, choosing instead to focus on nurturing their growth, on instilling the essential values of compassion and perseverance. After all, these students were the torchbearers of a new tomorrow. They were everything. During lunch, as we shared the time away from studies, a gentle wind rustled the leaves outside. I remember watching Ayumi unearth that small clay ring from her pocket, soft colors gleaming in the sunlight. She offered it to me with a hopeful grin, whispering, "It's a promise, Sensei, a promise to reach for our dreams. Will you wear it?" I felt the warmth radiate from her words as I accepted the token of her trust. "I will wear it proudly," I replied, placing it on my finger as she beamed. It was more than just a ring. It became a symbol intertwined with the hopes of every student in that room, binding us in a shared dream of possibility. How could we have known that such warmth would soon intersect with despair? The laughter kept drifting, despite the faint disturbance I tried to ignore. The lesson took on an air of vibrancy, a beautiful facade hiding the unthinkable. As I moved among my students, encouraging their creativity, I overheard snippets of conversation, dreams of traveling the world, hopes of becoming teachers, artists, engineers. The air hummed with innocence, blissfully unaware of its impending end. That afternoon, the sun hovered lazily in the sky, casting a golden glow over the land. As I began to wrap up the day, I felt a quickening pulse in my heart, a feeling that something dramatic was drawing near. I pushed it away, silencing the voice that whispered warnings. None of these children could fathom such horrors. They should only revel in the simplicity of dreams and laughter. I gathered my belongings, glancing around the room, taking in the essence of these vibrant lives. My heart swelled with pride and hope as I took a moment to breathe in the life surrounding me. This was our world, a canvas still waiting to be painted upon, not a barren allege of loss. But tomorrow will be brighter, I thought, as a finality settled in the air. I had no way of knowing that the promise of light would soon dissolve into shadows, that the laughter echoing within those walls would become a haunting refrain. All I could do was smile, indulge in the warmth of our shared dreams, unaware of the monumental shift awaiting us all. Yet even with the innocence I clung to, a tender fragility hung in the air, a reminder of the juxtaposition between our lives and the world outside, threatening, restless, ready to converge with the simplicity we so cherished. I departed that day with a heart full of laughter, unaware that the next moment would drape our reality in darkness, forever altering destinies and scattering dreams like petals caught in a storm. Years later, fate wove a thread back into the world, tying together past and present through a simple object, the very ring Ayumi crafted with her small hands, a small gesture that conveyed enormous dreams and promises. This ring shimmered with a warmth birthed from love and innocence, a relic of the bright lives I once nurtured. In a quiet corner of a family home, it lay unnoticed until a young boy named Kenji, just 7 years old, discovered it while sifting through a shoebox full of memories that had gathered dust. His fingers brushed against the smooth surface, and a feeling radiated through him, an inexplicable warmth that felt like a whispering connection to a history he could not yet understand. Kenji's eyes sparkled with curiosity as he lifted the ring and admired the simple beauty born from clay. "Mom, look what I found!" he shouted, rushing downstairs with the treasure held up triumphantly. His mother, a kind-hearted woman, looked up from her chores, her smile shifting to something deeper as she recognized the piece. "Ah, that's Miss Hiroko's ring," she said, nostalgia weaving through her words. "Your teacher was a wonderful lady who shaped so many lives." Her voice nearly trembled with emotion. "Can I keep it?" he asked, hopeful eyes scanning her face for approval. "Of course, dear. It can be a reminder that your dreams are always within reach," she replied, her heart swelling with memories of passionate lessons and the whispers of laughter that had once filled the classroom's walls. With that, the ring became part of Kenji's life. He wore it on special occasions, slipping it onto his small finger each time he marked a milestone, a birthday celebration, his first day of school, and as he nestled into bed at night, preparing for dreams. Each time he adorned it, he felt enveloped in a warmth that drew him closer to a world he could only dimly feel. The connection deepened, as if the ring were a talisman, charging him with the encouragement of those who had come before him. As time unfolded, Kenji grew in spirit and ambition. Driven by dreams of adventure, he began crafting his own stories. He drew worlds filled with vibrant colors and fantastical creatures, poring over his sketches long into the night, bringing them to life with the enthusiasm of a true artist. Nights would find him whispering secrets to the ring, something pure and sacred, revering the unseen connection he felt, something that told him he was not alone. In those moments, I emerged, threading through the soft fabric of his dreams. I was there not as a ghost, but as a gentle specter of encouragement. I watched him navigate through childhood, recognizing pieces of my own life in his laughter, in his challenges, as he grew steadfast, learning to harness the lessons I had once imparted to the young minds who graced my classroom. One afternoon, as Kenji sat at his desk sketching, the light streamed through the window, casting a celestial glow around him. I felt an overwhelming wave wash over me. His gentle heart echoed the vibrations of hope, and that day he put pencil to paper and conjured my likeness. He captured the essence of me, standing among bright-eyed students, radiating warmth and wisdom, my spirit reflected in his expressions. I was more than just a memory. I became the bridge that connected him to aspiration, the very energy that stirred within his dreams. Kenji's mother eventually discovered the drawing magnetized to the refrigerator, and as she traced each line, tears glimmered like raindrops in her eyes. "You truly loved your teacher, didn't you?" she whispered, not knowing the stories that tethered us together with roots deeper than this world perceived. The ring and the drawing transformed into symbols, tokens of reverence that Kenji cherished and paraded. He took them to heart, marveling at the past and nurturing his own future. Under my watchful gaze, he explored life with boldness. One fateful night, he clutched that ring tightly, pledging, "I promise to chase my dreams, Miss Hiroko," as he whispered into the vastness of his room, surrounding himself with the flickering lights of possibility. In that moment, my existence and his melded, revealing a thread that was invisible yet potent. The promise he made glimmered, an echo reverberating through the cosmos. As I observed this blossoming young soul, I felt a shift within me, a warmth that transcended the memories I had hoarded. I realized how much Kenji's journey echoed my own aspirations, rekindling shards of dreams that I had thought dissipated in the ether. With each heartbeat, the boundaries of our realities blurred, igniting the embers of connection that remained long after I had departed from my mortal form. The evening wore on, and soon Kenji's eyes fluttered closed, his breathing softening into the quiet rhythm of sleep, the ring resting comfortably on his nightstand. With each slow exhale, I began to feel a release. The weight of longing gave way to the joy of fulfillment as I acknowledged that love and dreams persist across time, never lost, only waiting to be embraced. As I began to drift away, I felt enveloped by a lightness I hadn't known since my passing. Kenji, sitting by his desk, drifting into slumber, surrounded by warmth and hope, became the embodiment of every dream nurtured in that classroom. I melded into his essence, my spirit entwined with the fabric of his life and dreams, an eternal reminder that life stretches far beyond the confines of our mortal understanding. In the heart of the night, beneath the celestial blanket of stars, I surrendered, allowing myself to dissolve into the very spirit of hope. I spread through the threads of existence, becoming the invisible force that whispered dreams, laughter, and encouragement within the celestial tapestry. A promise fulfilled, a light woven into the future, forever interlaced with the souls that carry dreams forward. In the delicate web of existence, moments often stitch together in unforeseen patterns. As the dawn broke, spilling hues of gold and violet across the sky, I felt the weight of connectedness surge within me. Kenji, with the clay ring resting on his nightstand, had unknowingly given me what I had longed for, a final expression of purpose. With that exchange, the lingering shadows of my past began to recede, urging me toward a graceful farewell. As the sunlight crept into the room, Kenji stirred awake, stretching his little arms as he welcomed a new day. It was in that instant that I recognized the importance of saying goodbye, not with grand gestures, but with quiet acceptance. I knew this moment would shape both our journeys as we continued down parallel paths. "Morning, Mom! Can I wear the ring today?" he exclaimed, his eyes sparkling in reverent anticipation as he reached out to cradle the clay token in his small palm. It felt like a powerful rite, a promise not only between him and me, but also an acknowledgement of everyone who had inspired him along the way. The ring became a symbol of crossing beyond the ordinary into the extraordinary, a beacon of hope illuminating his path into a bright future. After breakfast, Kenji bounded off to school, the ring safely strung around his neck on a thread of twine. I floated alongside him, a silent observer, tethered to his eager spirit and radiant curiosity. As we walked those familiar paths, I relished the laughter ringing in the air, the busyness of the world, and the vibrancy of generations coalescing into a mutual journey. Upon arriving at school, Kenji clambered out of the car with an energy that danced through the morning air. His steps echoed with purpose, dreams swirling around him. This was a world where new memories awaited, where the tendrils of the past intertwined seamlessly with the burgeoning realities of youth. I felt his excitement surge, brightening the atmosphere around us. This was the playground of creativity, laughter, and growth. As the bell rang, signaling the beginning of a new day, the classroom came to life. To my surprise, Kenji's classmates gathered around him, curious about the talisman resting against his chest. "What's that?" one of them asked, pointing at the ring. "This is Miss Hiroko's ring," Kenji said proudly, a hint of reverence coloring his words. "She was an amazing teacher who believed in our dreams. I wear it to remind me to chase my own." Gasps arose from the group, eyes wide, as I felt the warmth emanating from their responses. The stories and memories I had once shared swirled in the air, an echo of the passion and dedication I poured into every lesson, every laugh shared within those walls. In their gaze, I saw the flicker of dreams ignited, aspirations blooming like flowers at dawn. In that fleeting moment, when Kenji spoke of me, I felt the boundaries of our worlds meld into something profoundly beautiful. The laughter radiated in waves as they shared their dreams, some wanting to be doctors, others artists, or even space explorers. It resonated through my heart, reminding me of our shared humanity, the beauty of dreams coiling tightly together like vines spiraling toward the sun. Once again, the path of my existence twisted itself into the lives I had impacted. I felt enveloped in love, as if time itself conspired to sew us back together in unexpected ways. Though I existed within a realm beyond their perception, my spirit animated those very moments, whispering encouragement through them, urging them to embrace their aspirations. Their laughter surged like a river, flowing toward uncharted horizons of possibility. As the day unfolded, Kenji flourished among his classmates, sharing stories laced with enthusiasm, detailing every adventure he wished to embark upon. With every word, I felt the gift that he offered, an opportunity to find closure, to finally embrace the reality that my life, too, had its purpose fulfilled. Soon, the clock ticked away the hours until the last bell rang, a beautiful chorus signaling the end of another day. As they filed out of the classroom, a murmur rippled through the hall. Kenji and his friends, fueled by imaginative energy, began brainstorming their own project, a creative collaboration, a mosaic pieced together from their dreams. They would create a vision board filled with aspirations, sketching monuments marking their intentions for the future. It was then, standing on the precipice of a new beginning, that I recognized the importance of letting go. I needed to release my lingering ties to the world, freeing both myself and Kenji from the invisible weight of grief. The time had come to honor the myriad moments I cherished by allowing them to transform into fuel for the flame of life ahead. As the group gathered in the classroom, I infused the air with a serenity I hadn't fully felt before. My laughter harmonized with theirs, weaving through their conversations about dreams and ambitions. The atmosphere became electric, an effervescent mixture of youthful zest and burgeoning creativity. I knew I could continue to guide them, not as a ghost tethered by sorrow, but as a gentle breeze urging them forward. In the echoes of that lovely laughter, I met each gaze, wrapping them in an embrace that felt like a promise of warmth and encouragement that would linger long after my departure. And with every breath, I felt my essence transform into something lighter, something made pure through love. When the moment arrived, I understood the final act unfolded before me, not with dramatic flair, but with a calm acceptance. Kenji, surrounded by his friends, embraced my memory, perpetuating it within new generations. "Thank you for everything, Miss Hiroko," he whispered into the air, his gaze unfocused, yet filled with dreamer's energy. In that profound silence that enveloped us, I took my final breath, gathered every ounce of love and laughter I had shared, and exhaled it into the infinite expanse of the universe. I faded away. The threads of existence began to unravel, not lost, but transformed. And as the cool evening settled in after a day of creativity and inspiration, I smiled, knowing that I would always linger, woven into the very fabric of their lives, an enduring whisper guiding them as they set forth on their journeys, dreams now fully alive and waiting to be embraced. In the moments that followed my gentle release into the cosmos, I felt myself adrift, freed from the constraints of the earthly realm. It was an ethereal sensation. Every pulse of my being stretched and shifted, merging with the fabric of existence, allowing me to see the threads that tied human experience together. The world, now a tapestry of emotions, dreams, and unfulfilled potential, unfolded before me, inviting me to explore the delicate trails of life I had once navigated. Time had lost its rigid form. It resumed its fluidity, oscillating between past, present, and infinite possibilities. I floated in the void, a myriad of colors and sensations surrounding me. the laughter of children intertwined with the wind, cascading like a gentle melody that resonated within the soul. I could feel Kenji's heartbeat, a steady, hopeful rhythm that echoed through the vastness, reminding me of the love we had shared. In this liminal space, I became a witness to the stories unfolding on Earth, each carrying the weight of human emotion. I watched Kenji as he navigated life without me, learning, growing, and embracing the essence of curiosity. I was liberated, yet entwined with his journey, observing as he encountered challenges, victories, and, inevitably, moments of vulnerability. Days turned into weeks, the sun rising and falling, painting the sky in familiar hues while Kenji thrived among friends and family. Yet, every so often, I felt a twinge of sadness as I sensed his moments of longing, the times he would glance at the empty seat beside him, longing for my presence. I could sense him pondering, what would Miss Hiroko say? In those quiet moments, I whispered softly into the recesses of his heart, reassuring him with warmth, pride, and encouragement. You are capable, Kenji. Chase your dreams. Believe in yourself. There were evenings when he would sit under a tree, sketching his hopes and worries, his fingers brushing against the ring, a constant reminder of who I was and what I had encouraged him to become. In those still moments, I drifted closer, mingling with his thoughts, urging him to express his creativity, to trust his instincts, to step bravely into the unknown that awaited him. As seasons changed, I witnessed the transforming world, a panorama of lives entwining like threads in a grand fabric. Kenji became a voice among his peers, a beacon of sincerity and compassion. He began to mentor younger students, sharing the wisdom gifted to him through our relationship. I felt pride swelling within me, a quiet acknowledgement that even in death, love could guide and illuminate paths toward understanding and hope. But a bittersweet layer tinged this joyous observation as well. I understood that for every moment of triumph seemed to reside a shadow of grief. Kenji sometimes struggled with the remnants of loss, grappling with the concept of absence. I sensed the weight he carried, the pangs of missing me, the void that I could no longer fill physically. It was during one of those quiet evenings, as twilight enveloped the world in its soft embrace, that I sensed a deep longing within him, a desire to truly honor what I had given him. He set to work on a project, determined to pay homage to the time we had shared. The promise he made to chase his dreams morphed into something tangible and deeply resonant. He began to create a mural at school, a canvas that would capture the essence of hope, dreams, and the connections between every soul that had touched his life. With each brushstroke, I felt the vibrancy of color pulse through the air. He painted sunflowers, symbols of devotion and warmth reaching to the celestial sky. They grew from the soil, the grounding of existence, reaching beyond, poised to share their beauty with the world. I coasted alongside his creativity, fueling that energy, whispering visions of inspiration as he constructed the masterpiece. On unveiling day, the entire school buzzed with anticipation, the excitement palpable in the air as students, teachers, and families gathered. The mural stood at the heart of the school, an explosion of color pulsating with stories, connections, love, and possibilities. As Kenji stood before the mural, words gushed from him, eloquent and heartfelt. This mural represents not just my dreams, but the dreams of everyone who has touched my life, especially my beloved teacher, Miss Hiroko, who taught me to believe in myself and encourage others to do the same. His voice resonated with authenticity. I hope we carry these dreams forward, honoring one another as we reach for the stars. I felt each word soar into the cosmos, wrapping around me like a warm embrace. In those moments, I understood how the boundaries of life and death blur into a singular, beautiful truth. The eternal connection woven from love shapes our existence, even beyond the physical plane. As applause erupted, I reveled in the symphony of emotions swirling around us. Laughter mingled with tears, the air alive with celebration and remembrance. I had become more than a memory. I was interwoven within this mundane yet magical world, enduring and glowing from the love that existed in every heartbeat, in every dream rekindled. In that infinite stretch of time, when Kenji stood amid the crowd, I felt myself sink deeper into the collective spirit of those gathered around him. I began to strengthen my presence, no longer drifting quietly, but choosing to become a part of their narrative. The memories, the dreams, the laughter, each thread weaving me into their shared tapestry of life. And in that convergence, I felt the gentle release of what had tethered me, the acceptance of my own journey, amid an understanding that true connection transcends time and space. I could finally transform my existence into the very essence of hope, beckoning others to dream, to aspire, and to live fully. As the cool night embraced the world, I closed my eyes, feeling the warmth of love that would carry me forward into eternity, immortalized in the hearts that I touched. I surrendered to this infinite connection, allowing hope to float freely, forever an eternal part of the symphony of life. In the quiet aftermath of the unveiling, as twilight blanketed the school's facade in warm hues, a serene hush settled among the gathered crowd. The laughter and conversations dulled to a gentle murmur, each soul lost in reflection, touched by both the celebration and remembrance of what the mural represented. I lingered, now deeply woven into the fabric of their hearts and memories, watching as Kenji's friends approached him, their faces alight with wonder and admiration. "What does it feel like to be so famous?" one bold girl teased, her laughter a light tingle in the air. Kenji chuckled, twirling a strand of hair. "I'm not famous. It's the mural that's special. It's for all of us," he replied, humility coloring his words. As they remarked on the bold colors and intricate details, I felt an unmistakable warmth sweep over me. It radiated from the appreciation they shared, a shared creativity deeply tinted with hope. In those moments, I witnessed a beautiful truth. The lives we touch weave a story infinitely richer than our own singular existence. With each passing second, I became more aware of an energy, the gentle heartbeat of the earth itself vibrating through me. Through Kenji and his peers, I felt the stories of countless others intersecting, creating a mosaic where every life shimmered with its own unique color. I grasped the reality of life's interconnectedness, how love, creativity, and encouragement ripple through time, uniting souls across dimensions. As the stars began to peek through the veil of night, Kenji wandered away from the group, seeking a moment of solitude. I followed him to a quiet corner of the playground where he often sat to think, a space laden with memories, the echoes of laughter, and the dreams he once whispered into the night. "Hey, Miss Bicky." "Hiroko," he whispered, eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "I still miss you. I think about everything you taught me." The vulnerability in his voice swept over me, a soft, haunting melody that lingered like a lingering note from a violin. In that intimate silence, I wrapped my essence around him, a gentle caress filled with love and encouragement. "You carry me with you, Kenji," I felt compelled to whisper to him, though my voice existed only in the realms of spirit. "You are living the dreams we shared, and you will continue to shine brightly as you inspire others." His brow furrowed, as if he could sense my presence, and the moment became a quiet dialogue grounded in love. "Sometimes it feels lonely without you," he admitted softly, a tear slipping down his cheek. "Loneliness is a part of life, dear one." I drifted closer, my essence enveloping him, warming him like a comforting blanket. "But even in those solitary moments, know that you are never truly alone. You have the memories we made together, the laughter we shared, and the dreams we kindled. All of that lives on within you." The sincerity of my words wove into his heart, easing the pang of separation. He took a deep breath, the weight of grief lightening just a fraction as he traced the outline of the mural with his finger. as if searching for threads that bound us together. "It's beautiful," he murmured, awe dancing in his voice. "You've inspired me to be the best version of myself, and I want to pay that forward." A sense of fulfillment washed over me, a joyful tear cascading through a realm of light. I knew that my life, though physically ended, had sparked something extraordinary within him and countless others. The dreams they whispered and nurtured would illuminate paths through the dark, leading them forward into a world filled with possibility. As Kenji turned to leave, glancing back at the mural ablaze with color under the soft glow of streetlights, I understood my time was drawing near. The moments we shared would forever linger in his heart, weaving the threads of our connection into a vibrant story echoing through eternity. "Remember, Kenji," I breathed in essence, "the flame of your dreams will carry on, igniting the hopes of future dreamers. Believe in yourself, share your light, and always keep dreaming." With that promise echoing softly in the ether, I felt the gentle pull of the universe, inviting me back toward the vastness of existence. In that final embrace, I dissolved into stardust, woven into the fabric of every dream yet to be born, every aspiration yet to be chased. As the cool breeze swept through the playground, my essence became a soft whisper among the stars, twinkling above Kenji and the world. "I am with you always," I echoed to him. And with that, I found my peace, my spirit forever a part of the symphony of life, a promise fulfilled, a guiding light thrumming within the hearts of dreamers, both present and future.